Right now, there are so-called cash buyers out there using aggressive, unethical tactics to take advantage of homeowners. Their whole goal is to lock sellers into contracts that are far below what the house is actually worth. That practice has a name. It's called predatory wholesaling. And I want to be very clear about something up front. Not all wholesalers are bad. There are bona fide legitimate buyers in this space, but there's a dark side too. So today, I'm going to walk you through 7 red flags so you'll be able to tell the difference between a legitimate deal versus one that's designed to take advantage of you. And whatever you do not miss number 4. Let's get to work. Red flag number 1, the assignment clause. Now, the first thing that I want you to do is to look at the buyer's name on the contract. If you see the words and or assigns or a section labeled assignment, that means that the buyer has the right to transfer that contract to someone else. Now, this is the important part. That clause by itself really is not the problem. Assignment clauses are very common in wholesaling. The problem is when someone presents themselves as the actual buyer and they never explain to you that they plan to assign the contract. A legitimate buyer is transparent. They tell you exactly how that deal is being structured. Red flag number 2. Next, pay attention to how fast they push you to sign. If you hear things like, "This offer expires today," or "You need to sign this right now," or "Don't talk to anybody else," be careful. A legitimate buyer gives you time to review the contract, time to ask questions. Red flag number 3 is the constant partner walkthrough. If someone makes you a cash offer without ever stepping foot into your house, be very careful, because what often happens is this. They get the contract signed and then suddenly they've got a partner that they need to bring over for a walkthrough. Spoiler alert, that is not their partner. That's the actual investor they're trying to sell your contract to. If your buyer needs to bring 5 different partners through on 5 different days, you could be dealing with a predatory wholesaler. A legitimate buyer shows up to the property in person before they make an offer. Red flag number 4 is the title trap. Now, this is a big one. Predatory wholesalers will sometimes record something called a memorandum of contract. And they're going to tell you that this is standard operating procedure. But what it does is cloud your title. And that's going to stop you from selling that property to anyone else. So if your deal falls apart, you're stuck waiting on them to release it. And sometimes they won't release it until you give them a fee. A legitimate buyer, they're not going to record documents like this without a specific reason. And they're going to clearly disclose it to you up front. Red flag number 5 is the earnest money. Check the amount. Most predatory wholesalers, they're going to try and give you an earnest money that is really small, like $100. I saw one for as little as $10. Think about that. They are trying to tie up your $200,000 asset for the price of a lunch. If they walk away 3 weeks later, you get a $10 bill for your trouble while you've lost a month of time. A legitimate buyer, they put down real earnest money, typically $1,000 or more. It needs to hurt them if they walk away. Red flag number 6 is the long due diligence period. Speed is the currency of a cash deal. I can actually calculate all of my initial numbers after the first walkthrough. So if a buyer is asking for 21 or a 30-day inspection period, trust me, they are not taking that time to look at the roof. They're using that time to find a buyer to take that deal off their hands. Remember the partner walkthroughs that we just talked about? A legitimate buyer typically only needs 10 days to do an inspection. Anything longer than that, that's a major red flag. And finally, red flag number 7, sketchy proof of funds. Ask to see their resources. You don't want to see anything vague, nothing generic. You want real information. A legitimate buyer is able to show you they actually have funds to close. If they can't clearly demonstrate that, you need to question who you're really dealing with. At the end of the day, you are not just signing a contract. You're making a major financial decision. You deserve to know who you're dealing with, how that deal works, and exactly what you're agreeing to. Make sure you're getting a legitimate deal and not a paper promise. I'm going to leave you with one last thing. If you live right here in Metro Atlanta and you've got a problem property that you need to get off your hands, reach out to me. Click the Work With Me link in the description below. Or if you just have a question, click the Ask Me Anything link. I read and answer each one of those questions. All right, I'm done, and I'll see you in the next video.